It's your boy Charles. Charles on there as well, just checking in. Hope you guys having a good evening. We are getting ready to delve into another book audio reaction. Let's go ahead and play it, and I'm gonna come back with my reaction. Appreciate it, guys.
Lies. Back in 1988, the movie Colors showcased the emergence of the Los Angeles-based Bloods and Crips, two collectives of gangs that had a stranglehold on black urban life in Los Angeles throughout the 70s and 80s. The Crips emerged first, rising to prominence in the 70s wearing blue, at least in part, to honor the memory of an early Crips member who wore a blue bandana. Born a few years later, the Bloods were formed as a way for the members to protect themselves against the Crips. The Blood symbolic color of choice was red. Ice-T's song, Colors, the title track to the film, featured the rapper explaining the mentality of the Los Angeles gangbanger, examining the world from both the perspective of a gangbanger who had dedicated himself to the lifestyle, and from the perspective of someone who is urging people not to join gangs. Nevertheless, there was still a separation between the gangs themselves and the artists, at least in public. Even though Ice-T, King T, and the members of NWA, Eazy-E, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, MC Ren, and DJ Yella were from Crips neighborhoods, none of them typically wore the gang signature blue clothing or bandanas. These artists often wore black on their album covers, in their videos, and in their promotional photographs. Indeed, the first wave of Los Angeles street rappers remained largely neutral image-wise in the 80s and early 90s, seemingly keeping specific gang affiliations out of the music. It was a conscious decision, one that was rooted in both safety and business. If you wore blue, then you ain't finna attract nothing but Crips. Compton's most wanted rapper, MC8, a Crip who initially followed the same code, said, "Now the Bloods ain't finna buy your music. You wear red all the time, now the Crips ain't gonna buy your music. You ain't gonna attract nothing but Bloods. Wearing black is neutral. So where you can be there and have Bloods here, Crips there, hustlers there, and to them you're not choosing a side." With NWA, everybody knew Eazy-E was Crippin'. MC8 continued. Everybody knew MC Ren was a Crip. They knew Dr. Dre was where he was from, and knew Ice Cube lived where he's from. Wearing black neutralizes us. So when we've got to do a show in an all-blood neighborhood, we're really not getting up under a lot of niggas' skin. All they gotta do is stare at blue all day on stage. We have to know shit like that. Even though the public at large was not familiar with the specific neighborhoods the rappers they were listening to called home, many of their fellow Los Angeles artists and consumers were. That made wearing neutral colors and not promoting gang ties prudent. I already know where you're from, but when you're finna throw it in my face, you're irritating me and I don't want to buy your record, MC8 said. That's why I would never do that. I would never get on records and go, I'm a Crip, getting videos and wear blue rags. I might have worn a blue hat or whatever, but you try to be neutral. Like a lot of times when I go on tour, it would be black t-shirts, black jeans, black shoes, black Raiders hat. Black, 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 gray, gray, gray. You try to be neutral because you don't know where you're going. You don't know what they about and you're still an artist. In 1990, the West Coast Rap All-Stars, a mixture of Crips and non-affiliated rappers, released the song We're All in the Same Gang. The song was a one-off that featured West Coast rappers King T, Body and Soul, Def Jeff, Tone Loc, Above the Law, NWA, Digital Underground, Young MC, Ice-T, Oaktown's 357, MC Hammer, JJ Fad, and Eazy-E, as well as Chanteuse Michelle A, voicing their concern about violence in the streets and gang violence in particular. The video for We're All in the Same Gang featured a storyline in which a child hid in a car and saw his older brother get shot in a gang-related shootout. The clip features the shooters and the victims wearing their respective colors, an obvious nod to the gang warfare the song was trying to curtail. One rapper notable for his absence on We're All in the Same Gang was Ice Cube, who had left NWA at this point. For his part, though, Ice Cube was chronicling the ravages of the gang epidemic in his own way. On Death Certificate, his acclaimed 1991 album, Ice Cube delivered My Summer Vacation, a song that tells the story of a group of Los Angeles gang members who moved to St. Louis in order to run their drug dealing operation without the concern of rival gangs.
For more of these fascinating stories and true crimes, subscribe to Charles Arnis World. Thanks for watching.